again, Africa fans. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today we're going to talk a little bit about African culture and customs, and I hope you find it educational and interesting, which is always my aim. Okay, so as some of you already know, many African cultures and customs have been maligned in many ways, and that stems for the most part from a lack of understanding. And now culture, as we all know, is a concept that is acknowledged universally, and the relevance of culture varies from society to society. What is acceptable in one society may likely be an abomination in another. And within culture are value systems. And the word value refers to the attitude, beliefs, behaviors, and actions that are accepted standards of behaviors which each society expects of its members to abide by. Now, across the whole of the continent of Africa, culture and humanity go hand in hand. Traditional African cultures recognize the dignity and integrity of the human being as a creation of God. To most Africans, no matter which region, there's only one universal family to which all human beings belong, and this includes non-Africans. That's really the internal view within African societies. Now, actually, there is a Nigerian Hausa proverb that is familiar to all African cultures. Untu, ungumuntu, ungabantu, meaning a person is a person through persons. Profound, right? Now, the rich and diverse African cultures and customs varies not only from one country to another, but within each country as well. The culture of each ethnic group centers on family and can be found in each group's art, music, and oral literature. The vast majority of people living in Africa are indigenous. However, people from all over the world have migrated to Africa for hundreds of years. Arabs began crossing into North Africa from the Middle East in the 7th century AD, bringing with them the religion of Islam, which is wide across the continent. Europeans began settling in the southern portion of the continent in the mid-17th century, as did South Asians, who settled in the areas of Kenya, Tanzania, Uganda, and South Africa. Now, over the centuries, African culture has meshed with cultures from around the world. Although much of traditional African customs have remained intact, primarily in villages and districts outside the major cities, I'd like to share a few unique customs found in Africa that you may or may not have heard about. Social justice is a unique thing in many African countries. Whether in the major cities or small towns and villages, in a small community, if a person commits a crime publicly, for example, petty theft, and is seen committing it or getting away, everyone around who is able chases him or her down and gives them a good public beatdown. Calling the police is not even a first thought. I've actually witnessed this in both Tanzania and Zambia. The general thinking by all is, the thief will do it again, and the whole of the people around feel as though they too were robbed, in empathy for the victim. Again, going back to that Hausa proverb, a person is a person through persons, right? That's right. Community equality. There is something so unique and beautiful about this next custom of various African villages across Africa, including my native country of Somalia. There is a strong emphasis on community, social equality in villages particularly. For example, if a man was born with a deformity or became handicapped through some form of accident or illness, when he is of marital age, the community finds one of the most beautiful ladies for him to marry. And the reason they do this is to bring up the status in the eyes of the community, bring up his status to the eyes of the community. By being married to a very beautiful woman, he's no longer viewed as beneath the social status of any of the other men in the community. And the beautiful ladies that marry such men are forever seen as noble women who see the heart of the man. How unique is that? How unique is that? Word of caution, though. Don't go chopping off an arm and a leg and visiting these towns and villages across Africa thinking you're going to be blessed with a beauty queen, because you'll end up getting kicked out of the community for fraud and still be without a beauty queen or your limbs. Just saying, be careful. All right, moving on. Now, this third example of a unique cultural custom may actually make you teary-eyed if you're an empath like me, because it's such a wonderful cultural practice found in parts of South Africa. It's a practice called Ubuntu-U, meaning humanity. It is a Zulu term, in fact. There are certain values that come with the term Ubuntu, and it includes the values of dignity, acceptance, fairness, compassion, and love, basically a oneness to all humanity. It's a theory of what hurts you hurts me too. What makes you happy makes me happy too. And what this practice entails is taking a community member that has done something wrong, unethical, or sinful, and placing them in a circle surrounded by family, friends, and other community members, kind of like an intervention of sorts, for 2 to 3 days over some hours. And during that time, they speak of all the good the person has done, each person giving specific memories to remind the person, man or woman, of how they really are, a person of goodness. The person is then encouraged to reconnect with their true self and abandon and release the mistake that they have made. It is a practice of forgiveness and rehabilitation and love. The person is not shamed, but rather uplifted. The results of such a practice, psychologically, encourages the person who has done wrong to always do their best to stay in their true nature of goodness. Now, how beautiful is that? All societies around the globe should adopt similar practice, don't you think? Now, do you know of any unique African customs and practices I did not mention here today? If so, please share in the comment section below. Also, if you are new to my page, please subscribe and join the family of Africa fans.